So the point I'm wanting to make here is that all of us can be in that state, you know, with the intent of going there. The challenge, I think, for us is to move back into the right-sided world. Now, it's one thing to be in Cusco or be with a group and, you know, and that kind of thing, and there are right-sided aspects to it. For myself, my work is not always to be in the left side. Would I love to hang out there? You bet, you know, absolutely. But truly, for me, the work is about having a foot in both worlds, you know, and to be able to integrate those worlds. And so, you know, what will happen is that we'll be exposed to these kind of experiences where we begin to know, not with the mind, but with the soul, your heart and your soul, what these states are. You know, and the sadness can happen is when we move back into the right side and we're back in our daily life and that kind of thing, and we begin to lose that somehow it begins to be siphoned off, you know, siphoned off, it begins to be pulled off, because we go back into the world that we know, you know, we go back into the systems that we live and work in. And, you know, the energy can be, it can dissipate. So that is really the challenge with this work, you know. And the more deeply, the more exposure you have to the left side, and it's not only, you know, in this work that we're doing here, it's within any of the spiritual traditions in the world that are carrying that true thread, not the dogma, you know, but the true thread of the salka and the intent and those kind of things. But energy being everything, we're going to know where we are in any given moment, won't we? I mean, if you just focus and notice the state of your body and your mind, you're going to know where you are on that continuum between lightness and heaviness. Yeah. So, you know, so what can we do about that? How can we manage and how can we integrate these things when we find ourselves getting stuck or getting sucked back in? You know, I know for myself a lot of the work that I do on the computer, you know, the contrast from being on these travels and then going back to like Cusco, or, you know, when we travel in Mexico, you know, to go from the jungle back into somewhere where you've got an internet cafe, and really feeling the energy being sucked from your body. You know, how do you manage that? How do you manage that? So it really takes mindfulness, doesn't it? I mean, just being mindful about where you are in any given moment. One of the things that happened early on for me, and I'm not saying that any of you need to do anything like this, but it became, when I began to do this work with Donna Miracle all those years ago, I lived in the inner city, you know, back east. It wasn't long before I could not do that anymore, because I became so in tune with all of the energy and the violence that was happening there and so on. I had to move for myself. I had to move west, and, you know, southwest is where I finally ended up, so that I could be in nature. Because the Pachamama and all of these elements, they're the great healers, you know. Says that any of you can do to leave the hucha, the heavy energy of the right side behind, and step into the left side. Okay? So I'd like somebody to demonstrate this with me. What would that be? This is a non-verbal, content-free opportunity.
I think I've heard that before.
And what we're going to do, everything being energy, you know, absolutely everything being energy. And actually, why don't we come forward just a little bit, because you'll probably be stepping back a little bit. Okay. Absolutely everything being energy, all the thoughts that we have, everything that's lodged in our body, all of those things, we can dispense with that. We can absolutely step out of it. It's a decision that we make, you see. And if you want to make that decision, do you?
I do.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what I'd like for you to do, Turk, is to, whatever that sadness was the other day, you can just connect with that just a little bit. You don't even have to connect with the whole thing. Okay? And you can notice where you're holding it in your body. Okay? Now here's what I want you to do. You make a decision. You make a decision right now that you're going to step out of that. All right? Okay? Here's what I'm going to invite you to do. Wherever that is, I want you to take your hands and you're going to start brushing it off. You're going to start brushing it off. Okay, just start brushing it off. Just brush it off. 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 Into the Pachamama. Into the Pachamama. Into the Pachamama. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, let's step back. Leave it here. Leave it here. Leave it here. Come on. Now you notice the difference?
I do.
Okay. And is there anything remaining?
Un poquito.
Okay, and then we do it again.
Okay.
Okay, and here we go, and brush it up. Just let it go into the Pachamama. That's right, that's right. And whenever you're ready, you just step back. Leave it there. Open your heart. Just reach up into the sun. And when you feel the energy of the cosmos, that's right. Begin to bring that together. Begin to pull it in. Pull it in, pull it in. And bring it into your own heart. And allow it just to fill you. That's right. Just allow the mystery to be here with you, to fill you and permeate you, to move into every cell of your body. Moving through every thought, so any thought just dissipates.